actually doing a SmegChris review. It's been a while.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm sorry I've been away so long. I won't let you down again.
This is the first time I've seen such sweetness.
Hey Smeggies, I bet you thought I forgot about this show. Nope, I've just been lazy. Let's get on with the news. DC has decided that domination of our TV screens isn't enough and have announced 9 new films to come, including Captain Marvel, which will star Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam, also Green Lantern, which I'm assuming will be rebooted, and also The Flash. Despite a new TV show of the same character, it seems that DC are still intent on making a mess of everything because they're not keeping the movies and the TV shows in the same universe. Tut! Oh, you know, like I said, that Marvel liked to copy DC. Well, only a day later, they also announced 9 new films. At least they'll keep theirs in the same universe, I'm assuming. Talking of the Flash TV show, while I was in America, I was able to catch the pilot episode, and I have to say it was good. Just like the show it spun off from, Arrow, it seems to be heading off into its own unique direction, away from the comic books, or even the old TV show. However, I have to say that the costume is something left to be desired, and could do with some improvements. However, the show is off to a good start with great characters and some plot twists. It's already a huge success and it's been given a full season. Let's hope it goes beyond that. Talking of DC TV, Gotham has just started telling the tale of the city in its early days, long before Batman came into being. And from what I've heard, this show is doing very well. You can tell that they spent a lot of money on this show, and the way that they spread out the storytelling between the characters is brilliant. Okay, that's enough news for now.
I think you're not fair.
Oh well, time for a retro review. I had just recently watched the original run of Sharp for the first time, the television show starring Sean Bean. And I loved it! The character showed that it was tough, passionate and quite sarcastic, which made me enjoy it all the more. I was surprised at how many actors appeared before they became famous. Let me read a few. Daniel Craig, Elizabeth Hurley, Pete Postlethwaite, Brian Cox, Paul Bettany. As for the stories, some were not so good, but I only say some because most of them were enthralling. My only regret is not watching it when it first came out. Definitely one I'm glad I've added to my collection. Now on to movie review. Believe me, there's quite a few, because I caught a few films on my way to and around Florida. First up is Maleficent, starring Angelina Jolie. At first I wasn't that interested, but because I was on a plane I could see it on other passengers' screens, and as I kept looking over I kept noticing some of the action and I thought, that looks interesting. Luckily they showed it again, so I watched it, and I'm glad I did. I loved the different take on the popular story of Sleeping Beauty. The CGI was beautiful and Angelina Jolie looked fantastic in her costumes. Another movie that I saw in my travels was the Robin Williams film RV. And I have to say it was hilarious! Which I found surprising because when it came out all the critics panned it. Yes, some of the jokes and pratfalls were predictable, but that's what made it even more funny. I'm not kidding, everyone on the bus was laughing. Now let's move on to the new movies. However, this first one is going to be a bit late and it's no longer at the pictures because I've been away since it came out and I watched it. Oops. Sin City: A Dame to Kill For wasn't as bad as the critics made out. If anything, this was more cohesive than the original, with all the different plot threads tying into each other. Most of the cast returned with some notable replacements, mainly Josh Brolin taking over from Clive Owen as Dwight, which didn't work for me. But the rest of the movie did. Sure, it just looks like the original, but if you watch both movies in one sitting, it could be seen as just one movie. It was classy, the characters and the story kept you entertained. It may be gone from the cinema now, but keep an eye out for it as I give it a... Oops.
Yeah, the case of that.
And finally, a review of something that's still in the cinemas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was a huge fan of the original. I even knew all the words to Turtle Power. I was 15 at the time, by the way. The new film doesn't feel as classic, if that's what you can call it, as the original, but it does work, for the most part. Megan Fox was great as April O'Neil, the Turtles were cool and Shredder was quite fierce. The problem with the film was that sometimes it was big and loud, so much in fact that sometimes you couldn't see what was happening on the screen. But when you could, it was awesome. The story seemed to fly by too. I also liked the homage to the original movie with the pizza cutting scene. And I should add that the avalanche scene was pretty cool. However, by the end I found that I was missing 2 things. 1, the original movie had real fighting as opposed to CGI. And 2, Casey Jones, where was he? It would seem a sequel has been hinted at and it would be nice to have Casey Jones appear in that one. It's a great film and I give it a... You know I've got to say it. Cowabunga!
It was Superman 2. That's what you quoted.
Well, duh.
Took you long enough. Anyway, it's time for me to go. Until the next time, peace out.
Is now a good time to give you an idea? I'll take that idea.
Wow, a SmegChris review. Been 2 months. This fly's gonna do my head in. Including Captain Marvel, which will star Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson. Why is his name Dwayne Johnson? Did his parents hate him that much? Sorry, Mr. President. This fly. Where's my pad? Where is it? Flying across the screen, so it's... Oh, yep. Despite there already being a TV show of the same character, it seems that DC are intent on... What the heck are you doing, Mr. Stomach? Can you hear that? Sounds like my basement door creaking. I have to say though that the costume is something left to be DC is... That flies back. Talking of DC TV, Gotham has just started telling the tale of the city in the days before Batman came into being. It's okay, I've already cocked it up. So I'm dancing in celebration of cocking it up.